I cannot believe it. It took me 10, 15, 20 minutes to remember her name. Welcome to my Road to Thailand video series. Currently I am in Ontario, Highway 17, heading west towards home. I just want to make a video right now about a trucking company I work for. It's been almost 6 months since I left there. The company is Thailand Carriers, based out of Rocky View, Alberta. I went there April 2012 and became an owner-operator and continued there until last April 17th, when the truck that I had was 1.5 payments away from being paid off and finally given up the ghost. It had come to a point where it was costing me so much money to repair that truck that I actually, the last time I had it in the shop, I paid just over $4,000 to find out that what I spent $4,000 on did not solve the problem. So I got tired of throwing money at it and walked away from it. Sold it at auction and didn't get anything enough worthwhile to talk about, but at least covered my expenses and I could walk away from it. Having said that, the company, on the other hand, Thailand Carriers, I've been driving trucks since 1982. This is 2017. For those of you watching this in the future.
Just a funny side note at this particular point, this video you're watching, I never uploaded it. Like I just said, it's recorded in 2017, and I said for those of you who are watching this in the future, and then I mentioned the year 2025. Well, guess what? I just stumbled upon this video in my folders while trying to clean out my computer to make more room, and I'm watching this video, and it's actually February 14th, Valentine's Day, 2025, and I'm here in Thailand for the 8th time. I just thought I'd insert that here because it's kind of a funny side note. It's just weird that back in 2017 I would say 2025 when that's exactly what it is now. All right, back to
in the future, 2025, and my video's still on YouTube going viral, I hope. Anyway, Thailand Carriers was probably, and I honestly lost count, but they were probably the 10, 11, 12, or 13th company I drove for. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say they were the best company I ever drove for. And I know there are going to be people that maybe from Thailand, other drivers who see this video and groan at that. But I'm going to tell you something. They were not perfect, but nobody is. Not in this lifetime. You will never find perfection in a human being or a place to work other than Jesus Christ. Having said that, I think that if you go to work for a company, no matter what you're doing, trucking, garbage man, working at McDonald's, working at Walmart, working at a high-level executive position, if you know what you're getting into when you go there, like I do when I go to a trucking company, I may not know the nuances of that particular company, but I've been in this business, like I said, since 1982. So when I go to work for a trucking company, I pretty much know what's expected of me. And if I do what's expected of me, they leave you alone. But when you kick and complain, which I did a couple of times, I know I was not the perfect employee over there. There were many times when I was on the phone and I was upset with a couple of people, and I would voice that. And you know, it's just the nature of the beast. You get frustrated for various reasons. You know, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, I want them to know that I've been many places in the trucking world, and they treated me very well. And in some instances, they went above and beyond. Dave Stremick, Shane Schwartz sat in on a meeting a couple years into my career there, and they'll know exactly what I'm talking about by going above and beyond. They did things that I would have never expected any company to do. There are other people there too. Like, I mean, I could mention Siobhan. She was my load coordinator or dispatcher. Many times I was upset with her, and she knows it. And you know, but I think I've apologized to her more times than I, you know, maybe not enough times, but you know, I think Siobhan and I had a good working relationship. She got to know who I was. She knew when I was upset. She knew when I was frustrated or whatever. And I know for a fact that she didn't do things just to agitate me or piss me off or whatever. It's just, again, the nature of trucking. You know, there are many other people there that I'd like to say hi to. Lila, always a pleasant woman to talk to. Cindy Smith, just yesterday, you know, at the drop of a hat, I needed to get some information months after I've already been there for my accountant. Whatever she was doing, I don't even know what, but she took care of it right away. You know, this is months after I've already gone, and she took care of that for me. Like, who does that? Cindy did that. Thank you, Cindy. Brandon, I didn't get to know you that well, but what I did get to know, you know, we got along okay. I think so. Man, there's a lot of people there. When I think Kalina was a young lady who started there probably within the last year or so that I was there. She started off, I think, in one capacity and then became driver, recruiter, safety training, whatever. Awesome woman. Very friendly. Very, very friendly woman to talk to. Awesome woman. I know I'm missing some people. I'm thinking of, who am I thinking of? I'm thinking of, I am terrible with names. I worked there for how many years? How many times did I go in and I had this, I'd just be looking at an employee there inside, and I'd be thinking, okay, what is their name? And I'm doing that right now. I got somebody visualized in my head, and I can't think of her name. I said Lila, I said Cindy, I said Kalina, blonde-haired woman. Why am I drawing a blank on this woman? Very lovely woman, very nice. I'm going to pause this until I can think of her name.
15 minutes later.
I cannot believe it. It took me 10, 15, 20 minutes to remember her name. I had gone through the ABCs all the way to Z or Z, depending on what part of the world you live in. I remembered her voice in my head perfectly. Her flowing strawberry blonde, shoulder length or longer curly hair, her stunning figure. Stop it. But I couldn't think of her name. I couldn't think of it. Then it hit me like a brick because the letter J stuck in my head for the longest time, and I came up with her last name before I came up with her first name. It took me coming up with her last name to come up with her first name. Sorry, Jill. couldn't believe it, you know. But anyway, everybody there was great. They always had time to talk to you. Eileen, another woman who actually was in the same office as Jill, very personable woman. Enjoyed the chats I had with her. But anyway, and I'm missing people, I'm sure, but some of them were in other departments that, you know, yeah, I might have said hi to or talked to for a minute or two, but, you know, they weren't necessarily associated with flatbed division or long haul. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Triline was awesome. I thank you. If I ever wanted to get back in the owner-operating business, which I do not, you would be the place I would call. I think the main thing that since I've left that I'm happy about is the fact that even though I really enjoyed my time at Triline, I didn't enjoy the fact that I was based out of Manitoba but worked out of Alberta. That was kind of tougher than I thought. I mean, everything left out of Alberta, pretty much Alberta or BC, went south and always back to Alberta for the most part, 95% of the time. It was awesome because the miles were there, because this is what's caused me to think about this video, is the simple fact that now that I'm at Bison again, I was at Bison before I went to Triline, and Bison, you're always moving, but I've noticed in the 6 months I'm here, I'm not always getting close to 3,000 miles a month. I'm always moving, but they'll send me on a trip and right back home, and when I go home, I take time off. So I'm getting more time off, which is a bonus, but I sat a lot, and that was my biggest beef at Triline. You'd go from point A to point B, and then you'd sit and wait a day and a half before you got moved to go pick something up to go back with. But in the grand scheme of things, it was rare that I got under 12,000 miles in a month, okay, at Triline. I'm struggling to get that at Bison, and I'm always moving, always. I came back here, I started driving back here May 1st, I think, right around May 1st. It's October 28th today. I've done one reset on the road, and that happened to be a long weekend, and freight was, not moving. And I sat in Mississauga for a reset for the long weekend. I didn't need the reset. That's the thing. I didn't need it. But because it was a long weekend and there were many people on the road, no freight. Anyway, one time I laid over. The thing I like best about Bison, payday every Friday. It helped me to get caught up really quickly, and that's a bonus. But this is not about Bison. This is about Triline. I just wanted to say shout out to everybody over there. Thank you. I appreciate it. To those who care, I am going back to Thailand. February 3rd, I'm leaving. I'll be back March 4th. And if you subscribe to my channel, you'll see some videos that I'll do when I'm over there.
So, like I said at the tail end there, that was 2017. This is now February 2025, and there has been a lot of content recorded from that time till now. I'm going to post that video finally after 8 years, and this is my 8th time in Thailand. I now spend the winters here, and one of the things I learned, my content isn't as good as a lot of people who are in my niche of traveling, but one of the things I've learned since I've watched this video while editing it and putting this part at the tail end is the simple fact that I've learned to stop saying so much. So I apologize for all of those. And I actually did cut out a lot of them and shorten that video down. It was actually quite long. It still is long, but not as long as it could have been. So if you like my content, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notification, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm out. Stay warm, drive safe, be well. God bless.